to episode 10 of the Pello Perspective podcast. My name is Michael Dowling. I'm proudly here today with a special guest. We've obviously got Chris Pennisi in the podcast as well. G'day, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
And we've got David Anderson from North Ryde Soccer Club, the president down there. Welcome, Ando.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Excellent to have you on board. So we're going to talk a bit about, obviously, the real estate market and sort of what's happening out there. I think obviously, one exciting avenue for us at Pello is we've now sort of become major sponsors of North Ryde Soccer Club. So it's a very exciting journey we're about to head on, which is pretty good. Obviously, it's a big growing club in the local community. So we'll go into a bit of detail, Endo, if we can, in regards to the club and what the club offers. But I think to start with, like Chris, it's really good to sort of see what's happening out there in the market. It's an interesting change, some really big dynamic changes in pricing and sentiment and how did you find the last sort of 6 weeks, last four to 6 weeks? Like, how's things going out there at open homes?
Yeah, really interesting. I think we were talking about it the other week. It feels like having 5 or 6 people through an open home is the new 20. So there's definitely less people in terms of, walking out and going to an open home. Still seeing, although it's split, still seeing some really good results. Like we can chat about that in a sec, but we've had a few really strong, say in the duplex space, almost record prices.
Yep.
Then we've had some properties where we've really had to, help the owners meet the market to sort of be able to move on with their plans next.
Yeah, and I think seeing that different shift in the sort of person that's moving now is probably another change. Like a lot of people that sort of just want to get a certain price to maybe move interstate or out of the area, they might be sort of putting their plans on hold at the moment.
Yes.
But a lot of people that are upsizing, for example, are now seeing the gap being closer than ever. So it's a really good time to make those moves. Obviously, as far as sales, we have had a few really good results. One that comes to mind is the duplexes there on Boy Street.
That was huge.
They were huge results. One selling off market for over 3 million, and the other one just shy of 3 million. Tell us a little bit about those and how they happened.
Yeah, it was probably pretty similar to what you said. We had one on the market. We had a really nice family moving from sort of northwest area where obviously traffic out there has become a real pain. So they wanted to get a bit closer to this area to get to the city for work and just wanted something really good quality. So double brick was on the menu, looking for something fairly central. And they didn't sort of want the extra bells and whistles like the basements and so on that some people want.
Yep.
And yeah, I think sort of one thing led to another. They've been looking with us. It's going on 4 months now.
Yeah, it was quite a while that they were in the market.
Yeah, and I guess they saw that, and after a few inspections, it sort of fell in love, and that kind of took over. But we're seeing a lot of that at the moment, where the families that were going for the big family home, the large yard, they've kind of shelved that idea now. They just want something good quality, low maintenance. And in a good location, and I mean,
and new. And I think why the duplexes have become the sort of new flavour of the month is because they are that sort of brand new product, and you're not having to fork out 4 million for them. So it is quite a popular product. Obviously, we'll go into soccer shortly, David, but I think a bit of an understanding from the community, I suppose. Like, how are you sort of seeing things out there in the market? Is there much chat down at the soccer field in regards to the real estate market?
Yeah, we're always chatting there. Even the celebrations after or commiserations after games and things where we all get together. I think there's a lot of pressures out there.
Yeah.
With the rising interest rates and things. I feel people are sort of, I feel in the area, people are sort of downsizing a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So the duplex, I think that's why you mentioned, Chris, there, that the duplex are quite appealing.
Yeah.
And that's probably one reason, especially the maintenance and things. But obviously the rates are tough and the taxes are tough, and I think that's probably the general feel out there from the people I speak to.
Yeah, providing a lot of ongoing pressures with some day-to-day living as well.
Yeah, day-to-day living, it's a tough gig, and you can see the numbers have been pretty good with our club.
Yep.
But overall, I know there's pressures and different requests about, getting help just around regos as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
No, well, it's interesting that it does filter into other parts of people's lives as well, not just their property hunt, obviously, and the search for the next place. It probably does filter into the sports environments and do I or don't I conversations in regards to sort of what else do you outlay for kids?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So, Chris, I suppose one topic of conversation at the moment is heavy uncertainty out there in regards to what's happening as far as this downturn. market pricing in the local areas sort of has settled from anywhere from 10 to 15% from where properties were selling for 6 to 8 weeks ago.
Yep.
Obviously, there's potentially interest rate rises still on the horizon, and we just touched on the cost of living, and obviously that's filtering to other avenues, David, around the area as far as sports registrations and people's general day lives.
Yep.
Where do you sort of see things happening at the moment? As far, I know no one's got a crystal ball to sort of figure out the future, but this trend, is it something that, do we think the market's still sliding, or do we think, is it feeling a bit more steady over the last few weeks? Like, what's your take?
I think I've always taken a bit of a moderate view. I mean, we've seen this a few times, right? And there's, whether it is interest rates or a policy change or a combination of those things, you do see the market sort of slide, and whether it's 10, 15, if it ends up being a bit more, then, you know, we'll find that out. But I think in areas, at least in the areas that we're working in, there seems to be a lot of demand and outside pressure from other areas.
Yep.
You know, I mentioned someone moving from the Hills District. We're seeing a lot of people over the years moving from places like Concord in the inner west, Lane Cove, Chatswood, where those prices are quite a bit higher. So I think, you know, while it will definitely continue to slide, and some people will say, great, I can afford to go buy in those areas instead, I'll go there. I think there's always going to be a place for housing in the Ryde Council area, because it's, you know, it's quite central. It's a bit more affordable than some of those surrounding areas that I mentioned. And so I think it's, you know, it sounds silly, but it is a great time to get into the market if you've been holding out. You know, I've been saying that to a lot of people. If you're trying to move from an apartment to a house or a duplex or a townhouse, that gap, if you actually, you know, take the panic out of it and analyse it, and provided you're in a position that you can afford to make the repayments and all those sorts of things. Obviously, there's outside pressures, petrol prices and so on. But if you can do it, you'll find that it'll be much easier than what it is to do in a booming market. I mean, you might remember I did that. I moved into Ryde in 2018, which is, you know, some people were labelling as the worst market in the last
worst time to buy,
So, you know, and that gap from where we were moving to where we bought was much, much closer than if I still held my previous property and tried to buy in Ryde today and sold, there'd be no way I could afford it.
Yeah, so it's changed environment.
There's a bit of a silver lining in that sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, I mean, the things you got to look at, like we don't claim to be politicians or figure out how they're sort of moving markets around, but the reality is that there's still got to be a re-election in 2028. So the reality is that there's got to be a situation where there's going to be a recovery along the lines there somewhere. And it does feel at the moment like obviously interest rates maybe once or two more times could go up, but what will eventually happen, and I think I'm already seeing that from like the appraisals that I was doing last month were double the amount of what I'm doing this month. And that's usually the number one lining sort of for me as far as what people are looking to do. If people want an appraisal and they're curious about do I or don't I move now, that's usually meaning that they are thinking about selling. And more than not at the moment, I'm having a lot of people actually say, no, Michael, we're definitely going to stay here for the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. Great point.
And that's usually the sign that the supply might drop a little bit. So probably before spring, the supply will drop down a little bit, steady out the market. And then the stock in spring usually rises again. So we could have another 5% out of the market come spring if there's 2 more interest rate rises. But again, no one's got a crystal ball. I think that's the biggest thing. Like we can't predict what's going to happen, but we just have to go off the trends and sort of give advice accordingly. Yeah.
Plus, if you're looking to buy a family home, if you're thinking about what's its value going to be in 3 or 6 months, again, provided you can afford the repayments and all that sort of thing, you're looking at it with the wrong lens. Like most people are not selling for 7, 10, 15 years. What uncertainty there is today, it's almost certainly going to level out in the next few years. So there's probably no point trying to make a decision of what the next perceived 3 to 6 months of data is going to be when you're probably going to be, you know, ideally buy a home that you're comfortable in saying, well, I couldn't care less what the market's doing in the next 6 to 12 months because I'm here for the next 5 to 7 years.
And in some instances, that's even renting, like getting out of the market, renting for a little bit, deploying the capital in other avenues because the family needs that larger environment or a bigger backyard or more bedrooms.
Big time.
The owners of 19 Badajos Road are a great example of that. We sold that property on the weekend for 2.34. Very open in saying that originally their hope price was sort of 2.5, but sold that sort of about 160,000 less approximately than what they were wanting in the perfect world. But they were very open in the process and saying that all the properties that they were looking at with 5 bedrooms, because they wanted something larger and something sort of bigger to grow into, they were all selling for 3, and then they saw some sell for 2.6 and 2.7. So the gap between the sort of 5 bedrooms versus their 3 bedroom became a lot closer. So for them, there's no better time to move. So it's all about why you're moving and what the process is. But I do see a bit of a steady out of this trend. Like I can't see it dropping another 10 or 20%. Like it feels as though the stock levels are just going down, and it's going to be more of a steady market heading into spring.
Yeah, I could agree totally with that.
So as we mentioned at the top of the episode, like we're very excited to be joining up and teaming up with North Ryde Soccer Club, one of the major sponsors down there. And it's a very exciting journey, like obviously getting back involved in local sport. We take pride in sort of giving back when we can. And I think what we're seeing at North Ryde Soccer Club is sort of almost like coming from a background of soccer. I used to know how strong North Ryde was back in the day, and growing up as a kid, and that was the go-to soccer club at the time. Obviously, we had Northern Spirit in the A-League around here, and then North Ryde Gunners back then was what they were called. That was the go-to soccer club. So it's just good to see the club go back to its strengths, and I think you're a large part of that, David. So I'm quite curious to know, like, how is the club growing? I think last time I saw on record, I think there was 40 teams. I think you've got approximately
51 teams.
51 now. There you go. That's amazing. So where's all this change come about? Like obviously over the last few years.
Yeah, look, we're very fortunate, and obviously very fortunate with Pello coming on board, which has really ramped things up as well. It's giving the whole club a whole new kit set up as well, and yes, there's expenses through the club. Look, a lot of it is off the back of the Women's World Cup as well.
Okay.
That we had in 23. So from that, the women's have grown year on year as well. So we've got 11 teams now, about 163 female competitors. We just had 3 weeks ago women in football within the club. That was exciting. So I just think, especially with the tough times, just as tough times, and everyone's out at work and they're putting all their time and effort into doing the things to make some money. But I think this is just an area where they can just expand out and jump into the community. And when I say community, the club is a community club. A lot of people before me have really set a really good foundation, starting right from 1953. So with George Collier as the founder, and then from there, and I've grown up. My younger years were with North Ryde and seeing the people who were the presidents at the time or life members that really inspired me to just carry it on, because I just loved it, and it was just a part of me, and it got us all outside and playing footy and supporting each other, and taking the mickey out of each other and stuff. it's just good fun. Yeah,
I can really tell. Like, I mean, obviously we go into a lot of houses on our day job, and there's a lot of people talking about the sports locally now, and big topic of that is the soccer. Like I've noticed since the Women's World Cup, women's soccer's grown exponentially, and it's awesome to see obviously North Ryde take advantage of that too and sort of grow 11 teams. That's phenomenal. Does that go all the way through to older ladies?
Yeah, so we've got the minis, juniors and seniors. We've got 2 senior teams at the moment.
Yeah, nice.
So our minis are growing. Last year we had a little bit of a steady year. Okay. This year we've bounced back up.
Yeah, nice.
And with especially with the new grounds this year down at Gunnon Park,
Yeah, what's the upgrade there like?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah?
I don't think I've had one negative comment.
Excellent.
The council's been good and supportive around that as well.
Yep.
So we moved from Magdala over to Gunn Park, and we've got a fantastic facility over there. We've got all the old boys and old members coming in to help with the barbecue and the canteen. We've got some nice coffee there as well. So we've got young guys coming in that are baristas and helping out there as well.
Yeah, so it creates a good atmosphere on soccer days. Yeah.
Seen it on a Sunday. Like I think I was down there with my kids yesterday, which was Monday. And it's just a great atmosphere, like seeing all the community coming together and, getting behind the teams and all that sort of thing. So yeah, you seem to get a bit of a crowd.
We said, yesterday was a big day.
Yeah.
I know it was a public holiday, it was a Monday, but we had our Super League playing yesterday and a few all-age teams playing and our over 55s playing, our over 45s playing, over 35s as well. So it was a bit of a senior event because all the minis played on the Saturday and they weren't playing on the Sunday, but so that was a great day yesterday, but especially Saturday when we have all our minis there, it's really cool. I go down every Saturday because I just love it. You're talking to the community, you're talking to the parents and the coaches, and we've got some fantastic volunteers through the club as well, which makes it all happen.
Yeah, a lot of the coaches, were they all are they parents of kids that are playing, or are they all involved? And
Look, we've it is a tough part to get them involved, but we've got a great program, the Cubs program, that Coach the Coach.
Okay.
So it takes the fear out of a parent saying, I don't know anything about football. My kid wants to play football, but I don't know anything about it. But we've got these coaches that it's grown through the club as well.
Okay.
Every one of them play with the club and they've come through the club. And so they coach the coach. So they're there from our minis, our under sixes, right up to our under nines. And we have a kindergarten program as well. So they guide the parents who have put their hand up and managers to run sessions for the kids and give them guidance, which is
so good.
Yeah, we're quite proud of. And they're good. They're all young. They're all 21, 18, 21, and 26. So they're give a good vibe there as well. They've got energy and
it sort of keeps that youthfulness in the club just rotating through. That's excellent. And what about the seniors? Like how are the Prem's going this year? The sort of top men's teams.
Yeah, the Super League team. They're doing really well actually. They had a decent year last year. It was a bit of a rebuild from last year into this year.
Yep.
We're just under the first. I think we're second. We had a good win on the weekend, so I think that puts them second. The reserve grade are struggling a little bit, but first grade are doing quite well.
Yeah, nice.
Because we gained a few new players this year. But I think more than just the wins and the losses, it's the culture that is created within the team that is really strong through that. And
that's one thing that I mean, obviously we hear about it constantly with people talking about the soccer team and things like that, but do the Prems sort of stay and watch others and sort of stay involved and things like that as well?
Yeah, they do. And especially from reserve grade to first grade, that's where you see the big crowds.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And that's where it's the atmosphere is awesome. You see even the older people coming in, to the parents coming in to watch, and ones who have played in the past, come from Central Coast and down Wollongong, they come up and they just enjoy that because that's what they have done in the past, and they love seeing what's happening now.
Yeah, excellent. Where do you want to take North Ryde Soccer Club to? Because it's had exponential growth over the last sort of 3 to 5 years. Like, where do you see it going to? Over 50 teams already?
Yeah. So, we've got 51 teams. I think I just want to maintain that culture of it's a family club. Yep. It's not all about the wins, but we're quite proud of being known as a family club and fair club. I think with the new grounds, I think it's going to attract new people within the club as well. Mm-hmm. We've got people coming down from the Central Coast to play with us, people coming out from Kenthurst. We've got 3 odd players out from Mount Colah coming in. So it's where we want to take it. I just want to keep expanding, but giving somewhere for the community to come and play football. And bring their kids to it or bring their wives, because the women are expanding. We had a good year with our all-age women's top team last year, and so we had the two teams. One had a premiership win, one had a grand final win.
Fantastic.
And so this year was still a rebuild on our all-age women. So we've had women come from all over to join the team. So
that's excellent.
And they're doing very well at the moment. So and all ages too. Like last year we had the lower division women's team, all-age team, and almost started from scratch. And they went right through and won the grand final. So they got their kids and they got their husbands or wives, and they're all.
That would have been an atmosphere
awesome.
itself.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Oh, excellent. And I suppose, like you just highlighted then, like you don't have to live in North Ryde to play for North Ryde Soccer Club.
Yeah,
like it's anyone sort of playing at home, listening to this. If you do want to get involved in a sport and have that really fun culture, and it's not just about the win, it's about the culture and the club and the commitment, like everything that comes with it. North Ryde could be a good club for them to reach out to and test the waters of. Yeah,
absolutely. We're open for all ages and all levels of football as well. We've got a good program, second nature as well. So we have an academy set up for our juniors to do. Yeah. So
and that's called Second Nature, is it?
Second Nature. Okay. Yeah. They run a really good program.
Yep.
That's on a Wednesday night, and we take it off into the off season as well. We had a off season in indoor down at the youth club at the RSL as well,
nice.
which we want to try to expand as well moving forward.
Okay, that sounds very exciting. So some big avenues for the club moving forward.
Yeah, I think so. And like I said, we're fortunate to have Gannon Park now, and it gives us a great facility.
It's brilliant.
It just brings everyone together.
Yeah, excellent. We're looking forward to seeing some big growth over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very exciting, and we're really looking forward to being part of it. So thanks for allowing us to come on board and help the club out for the future.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate it, and hope people have seen our posts and everything of Pello that have gone right through minis to our juniors to our seniors. So it's a really
awesome.
good look as a club now as well.
Watching the jerseys run around, it's really cool seeing Pello on the jerseys. Yeah, we've had a few proud moments in the office, so it's been pretty cool.
No, very exciting. So thanks for the support.
Excellent. So I suppose, guys, a topic on everyone's lips at the moment is this the FIFA 2026 World Cup. We're only a week away. Australia's got an interesting group. I think having David here as a special guest today, I think it would be remiss of us not to talk about the World Cup and maybe put some predictions out there. See who's gonna win and who's gonna get it right. I'm looking forward to Australia's group, like America, Turkey, and Paraguay, like three heavy hitters. No favourites, but at the same time, some tough games. And I think Turkey's probably the hardest of the group because that's a team with some serious young guns from good teams. So I'm really excited to see that first game this coming weekend. What about yourselves?
For me, mate, well, we exited early being Italians.
We don't get very far
So yes, Australia's sort of on the menu at the moment.
We did actually recruit one of your players. Christian Volpato plays for Australia now, which is good. So thanks for not qualifying.
He made the right jump.
It did help anyway, didn't it, right?
It definitely helped, I think, getting on board.
For sure.
Yeah, obviously not just Australia, and I think anyone who thinks Australia could win it is probably a little bit naive, but the reality is it would always be awesome to see Australia in the World Cup final one day. I think we've got a really good young team with a level of arrogance that I think you need at that type of thing. It was really cool to watch Nestor Irankunda, who's the young 20-year-old Aussie who plays for Watford Football Club, him come out and sort of say to the reporter the other day that no, I think we can go all the way. Like, I haven't heard an Australian actually say that for a while. So just that level of arrogance. Sometimes in sport, you kind of need that to be overconfident and a bit zealous. What did you think of that?
Yeah, no, I agree. You have to have a little bit of arrogance there, and you just need that confidence because you go into something like that because it's big, right? You don't get any bigger than this on the sporting calendar other than the Olympics. But So you have to go in with a lot of confidence because they're in a pretty difficult pool.
Yeah,
with Turkey, especially Paraguay as well. You don't know what the South Americans are going to throw out.
What are you going to get?
Yeah. But no, it's very exciting, and talking about communities and even parties that you have, and especially with the club, we all get together and we have different events. So we try to find people's places who have a big TV and a bar and then we put different events on through the year at different clubs as well. So
it'd be a good watching event as well because it's all good times this year. So, what about a Smoky to win the World Cup or a team that you think's gonna? Who do you think's gonna go all the way?
Netherlands, I hope.
Okay.
Because I'm in a sweep, so.
There you go. So you've drawn Netherlands, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they've got a really good chance. I think, I think they're right up there.
Yeah, they've always been sniffing around there, but you can't go past the Brazilian team either. I know England's always wanting to do better. They're really confident at the moment, but like we were saying before, that arrogance and that confidence that they're throwing around may get them up there as well.
Yeah, definitely. What about yourself, Chris? Who do you think's going to win it? Obviously not Italy.
Yeah, well, obviously not. I always can't go past teams like Brazil. I mean, they're always such a solid. Speaking about culture, it's ingrained in sort of everyone from a young age there. So I think they're always a dangerous team. Oh yeah, definitely. I think very hard to go past Brazil. Just watching them play and all that sort of stuff, I do think they'll be up there or thereabouts. I think France is for me the team to beat. Like I just think the best part about watching France, I think, is more the team that didn't get selected. Like France have two teams practically that their second team that got left in France could probably come second in the World Cup. So that to me is a bit scary when you see their lineup and go, wow, they could have had two teams at the World Cup and could have played against each other in the final. So, but what I'm really excited to see, there's two teams that I think are really big smokies to get top four in particular is Morocco and Japan. I think Japan in particular, watching their football and the way they play football and the discipline, and just as a soccer tragic myself, like I think Japan's just one of those teams that I'm kind of going to be excited watching. Like obviously they're Asian competitors with Australia, but at the same time, I can see them doing really well. Yeah, and they've been doing well in the last World Cup as well. Yeah, and they're just expanding and doing well. So they're an exciting team. Yeah, no, it's going to be really exciting to watch the whole thing. So I'm looking forward to it. Maybe 6 weeks' time we'll do another podcast and see who gets up and go from there. So thanks for coming on board today, David, and joining us and having a chat all things football and North Ryde Soccer Club, and obviously a bit about the market. So thanks for joining us. Yeah, no, thanks for having us. It's been great, and thanks for your support again. Yeah, excellent. Thanks for tuning into this month's episode, and you can find Pello Perspective podcast wherever you get your good podcasts from.